Well, in our world today, we have so many things that are simply not working as they could have been. And this is because of the common profit motive that we are basically everyone is a slave under. A big company, have to make money to hire employees. Um, that's one thing. And of course, then we have all the people, all the banks, and all the corporations that are putting up schemes, so to speak, to earn much more money than they ever need to pay the employees or to reinvest. They just go for money for the sake of money itself, not for any other reason. So in the world today, it is a profit motive that is that has seeped through everything, the mindset of everyone in this world is is well, it's the profit motive. It's the profit motive, and this profit motive, and the need for money, and the need for profit, and the need for money to pay your bills and whatever. Everyone have this need creates corruption. It is built into the system. It's built into the system, and the fact that money banks create money and that there are huge money creating schemes on Wall Street, just moving back and forth enormous amounts of money, and people who do that skim the top of this and earns like billions themselves, and they invest also in many different companies and in different funds, and yeah. Anyway, the profit motive creates corruption on every level. Simply to take a payment for something, for a service or for anything, is basically corrupt in itself. Anyway, further, the monetary system that we have today creates also competition. Competition can be good sometimes, of course, but in today's world, the competition between companies and patent holders, inventors, just simply hinders the the extreme development we could have had if everyone were allowed in much higher degree to collaborate rather than compete. And further, the monetary system itself creates instability. We have booms and busts all the time, and this will never stop. Well, maybe it will stop when the whole system breaks down, of course. Um, and we have also the system is dependent on cyclical consumption. This is obvious. I mean, just look around you. If people stop buying things, buying cars, buying furniture, buying electronics, buying clothes, buying food, then the whole system and the whole world as we know it today breaks down. Thus, new products have to be created all the time. People have to buy them. That's how the system works. And this is how we dig out the resources of this planet, because there is way too little recycling of the products that are being used than to replenish the resources that has been taken out. And this leads to resource depletion in the world. And this is not enough, but into the products, it has to be planned that they break down. Because if they don't break down, People don't have to buy new. Of course, in a car or in an electronic device or a cutlery, it is planned that it's planned to last like 5 years or something like that, and then it is planned that it shall be so much damaged that you have to buy a new one, or in addition to this, there are continually commercials trying to persuade you to buy new stuff, new clothes, new makeup, new jewelry, new cars, whatever, even though the one you have is okay, you know. So we have this both cyclical consumption and the planned obsolescence in this system, which creates enormous amounts of waste and pollution. And of course, the money system, the profit system also creates lots of different other things like prostitution. Uh, no person have to sell his or her body if they didn't really need the money. Of course, some people do it for joy, but still, most people do it because they really need the money. Drug abuse. There wouldn't have been so many drug addicts if there weren't for the pushers and the cartels that distribute the drugs. Crime, 90% of all crime is money and monetary related. So it's a result of the monetary system and the inequality in the system. And homelessness, the list just goes on. And famine, that you have this extreme hunger in certain countries at times. This is totally unnecessary. This can be planned in beforehand, so you don't have these famine episodes and periods. And of course, you have wars. Wars are one of the most profitable things you can ever have, and that's why there are so many of them. Wars create profit for the profit makers. That's how it is. That's why there are wars. And this war on terror, it's a made-up war. There are no reason to fear terror anywhere in the world. To be so unlucky to be killed by a suicide bomber is the chances for that are like this big compared to being hit by a car, which are like this big. There's not even room for it on the screen. So it's just a fear that the media is trying to plant into people, and this the whole society that we're in just runs on these concepts, that are basically insane. And the main concept, what is the mindset of the whole population of humanity, is scarcity. But this is also a made-up concept. If you look at nature, if you look at the planet, if you go to Google Maps, look down and see how much land there is. There is so much land. And people are yelling about overpopulation and all this stuff. There is not enough food, and there's not enough land, and there's not enough of this and not enough of that. It's all bogus. There is plenty of everything you can ever imagine on this planet for everyone that can possibly live here. Yes, of course, if you let this population grow to like 100 billion people, maybe it'll be kind of scarce. But still, if we move into resource-based economy, people won't let this happen because values will change, and then the thing that having like 10 children might not be your prime value. Maybe like one or two, or maybe even no one. will be more like the common value. But I was on not finished with the monetary system or the other overpopulation thing. Yeah, look at Google Maps. Just look down at the Earth and see how extremely big forests and lands, areas of land and sea, not to speak of at least, because there's a lot of resources in the sea also. And this planet has so much resources, and the resources can be managed well in a different system than we have today. In the system you have today, companies, corporations are running here and running there, trying to grab the resources for themselves so that they can control them, they can distribute them into the world, and indigenous people everywhere are suffering over this, and resources are being depleted here and depleted there, and there's been digging huge holes here and there because we need this special network for this screen here, for cell phones, for so many things in the industry and in the planet, on the planet that we have today. It's taken from the planet. They need for this iPhone and for other cell phones. They need um, new metals that are scarce on the planet, and they are making up new ways of making money all the time. That's all that this system is doing, making up new ways of making money. Or at least you can say that this is just a tiny little percentage, not even a percentage of the population of people that are doing things that are truly helping the world and at its basics. So if we had a system, you can call it a money-less society, you can call it a resource-based economy, you can call it many things. But the point is that we need a different system that does not use money or trade or barter. Well, you can barter, of course, if you want to barter. You are making dinner for someone and they are giving something back to you. Of course, go for it. That's no problem. You can still have a monolith society and a resource-based economy, and people can still do these things. It isn't a problem. But the point is that with different mindset on the population of the people of this on this planet, we can create a planet, and our goal can be to create the planet that is the best planet in this universe. Instead of competing for this resource, competing for that resource, competing for this title, competing for that title, and instead of making life difficult for each other, we can make this place a paradise. Truly paradise for everyone on this planet. We can make this place a paradise. We can make this place a paradise with freedom, openness, equality, abundance. Abundance for everyone can be created. It's all in our minds. And we can have celebrations, parties, true celebrations of life, joy. And we can share with each other, true sharing. Today, the system makes it very difficult to give of yourself freely because you need money to survive. Even though you want to do a certain thing that is good for both you and the next one, humanity, the planet, or animals, or human life, or plant life.